A 20-year fishing veteran's summary: 4 golden rules for choosing fishing spots. There's a pattern to a bountiful wild fishing catch. Have you ever had such an experience? You rush to the river with your gear, pick what you think is a divine spot, but after a whole day, the float doesn't move a bit, not even luring a loach. You just feel like jumping into the river to cool off. Let me tell you, with 20 years of fishing experience, 90% of the time you can't catch fish is because you've chosen the wrong spot. Those experienced anglers who always come back with a full catch, it's not that their bait is more appealing than yours, it's that they know how to pick the right place. Today, let's talk about my 4 golden fishing spot selection methods. First method: never pass up places with aquatic plants. Honestly, even if you're a beginner, looking for areas with water plants is more reliable than fishing anywhere else. I remember one spring, I went to a suburban river to fish for crucian carp with Old Lee. Old Lee plopped down next to a grassy nest, and after 3 casts, he caught 2 big crucian carp. I was totally confused, sitting in the clear water area, just watching the scenery all morning. When I asked him why, he said, "Water plant areas have more oxygen. Fish come here to feed and can hide. If you fish without going for the grass, you might as well not have made the trip." That's no exaggeration. Later, whenever I found a grassy nest, I'd stay put, and my catch doubled. I caught crucian carp, and grass carp all mixed together, and I was over the moon. Another summer, I went to a reservoir. As soon as I got to the shore and saw a patch of grass, I quickly grabbed a spot. By the morning, my box was full, and the anglers next to me just couldn't figure out why I was catching so many fish. So, where there's grass, there are fish. Grassy nests are natural fish nests. As long as you're not deterred by getting your hook caught, you can't go wrong. Second method: shady, leeward spots are treasure troves for big fish. Give it a try if you don't believe me. Last midsummer, I went night fishing at a reservoir with some fellow anglers. Everyone was scrambling for the sunny spots, but I checked the wind direction and headed straight for the willow shade on the leeward side. Not long after I cast my line, the float suddenly submerged, and I pulled up a big carp weighing over 2 pounds. For the rest of the night, the fish kept biting. When they asked me why I chose that spot, I said, "Fish are afraid of heat. In summer, they like the shade. Leeward spots have more oxygen and more food, and big fish especially love to hang out there. If you're struggling in the hot sun, you're just wasting your energy." The same goes for winter. Leeward deep waters have higher temperatures, so fish gather there, and you have a better chance of catching big crucian carp and grass carp. Third method, the boundary between deep and shallow water is a golden passage. This has been proven by countless seasoned anglers. I remember one autumn, I went fishing at a wild pond with my friend Old Wang. In the morning, I first chose a deep spot, but got almost no bites. Old Wang, however, sat at the boundary between deep and shallow water, where the depth was just over 1.5 meters. The result? He was catching fish one after another: crucian carp, whitebait, and topmouth coulter. I was so envious I could scratch my head. The boundary between deep and shallow water is a must-pass for fish when migrating and feeding. Especially in autumn, when the temperature varies a lot, fish move around constantly, and the boundary has the best bites. If you stubbornly stay in a deep, stagnant pool, you might end up with nothing all day. Also, in early autumn, fish in shaded areas. In late autumn, go for deeper spots. Adjust flexibly, and getting a full catch isn't hard. Fourth method, murky water areas are fish nests. Don't look down on murky water, especially after rain. You'll regret it if you don't try. 2 summers ago, after a heavy rain, I went fishing at my hometown reservoir. The water was all muddy, but while the other anglers sat in the clear water area, I chose a murky inlet formed by the rain. It wasn't long before I was catching fish one after another: carp and bream, coming in non-stop. Fish in murky water are less alert and easier to find food. Shallow murky areas are especially good for using live bait to lure fish. Are you still chasing crystal clear water? That's just making things hard for yourself. Now, let's talk about how to put this into practice. First, don't be in a hurry to set up your bait. Wait at least 30 minutes. Choose the right bait, mainly live bait, with powdered bait as a supplement. And make sure to set your bait in the 4 golden spots I just mentioned. Don't scatter it randomly, that's a waste. In winter, you need even more patience when setting up bait because it takes longer for the fish to be lured. My friend Old Song waited for 2 hours one winter, and once the fish started biting, he caught 4 big crucian carp in a row. The lazy ones just had to watch him show off. Second, adjust your fishing spot according to the season and time. In spring, choose weedy, leeward waters. In summer and autumn, look for shady, leeward spots. Deep water can lead to a big catch. Fish in deeper water in the morning and evening, and shallower water at noon. In winter, stick to deep, shady, leeward areas. Don't struggle against the sun. I always choose my spot based on the season. Fellow anglers say I'm like a weather forecaster, but it's just that with more experience, Once you understand the habits of fish, catching them comes naturally. Third, don't be lazy about observing the fish situation. Check the current, wind direction, and water color. In fertile, murky water, look for shady, leeward spots. In lean, clear water, choose sunny, weedy, leeward areas. In fast currents, find backwaters. In murky water, fish in the murky areas. Every time I go to a new body of water, I spend half an hour walking around to observe. I'd rather fish a little less than not choose the right spot. Finally, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Experience is gained through trial and error. I often came back empty-handed in my first 10 years, but later, the more I fished, the more I realized that the fishing spot is more important than anything else. When it comes to fishing, skill is important, but choosing the right spot is even more crucial. Learn to read the environment, water color, and season. Be flexible, and don't be afraid of detours. As long as you master these 4 golden fishing spot methods and adjust them in practice, a bountiful wild fishing catch isn't a dream. As the old saying goes, there's no fixed method in fishing, only constant practice. Brothers, complain less, practice more. Next time you go wild fishing, remember these tips, and you'll definitely become a fishing expert, catching a full haul every day and feeling proud when you go home. Author's profile: I'm a self-media blogger who loves fishing and is good at sharing. Follow me, and we'll exchange fishing skills and talk about all the little things in wild fishing for anglers. Give a like, save it, and follow to stay updated next time.